The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, today on Aging Horizons we're going to be talking about Alzheimer's. You know, we talk about that a lot and we bring you some kind of harsh realities because we want you to be completely educated. But today we also have a really fun and big event that we want to tell you about, and there's still time to sign up, really easy peasy, so stay tuned, you're going to want to hear this.
With as many as 1 in 10 Americans at risk for Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia, chances are someone you know and love will receive that diagnosis. When that happens, you may well feel devastated, but know that you are not alone. Help is available. You don't have to face dementia by yourself. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
It's been 27 years. I never thought I'd still be smoking, but here I am, COPD and all. I'm about to have a granddaughter. There's so much to show her, but I'm scared I won't be able to keep up like I used to. I kind of gave up on myself on quitting. But it's different now. I want to be here for her and for my daughter.
Summer in Montana is a great time to visit your local farmer's market. Enjoy the social atmosphere while shopping for a wide variety of fresh, locally grown produce. Together with both WIC and Senior Farmers Market nutrition programs, you help feed your family 5 or more daily servings of fruits and vegetables for better health. You also help local ag producers and enhance the state's economy. So, for summer fun that's nutritious and helps Montana's economy, shop at your local farmer's market.
I'm Attorney General Tim Fox. Nowadays, all of you have to worry about cybersecurity. Something as simple as visiting pirate websites can put your computer at risk. Hackers use pirate websites to infect your computer and steal your ID and financial information, or even take over your computer camera without you knowing it. Don't let hackers into your house. Be careful with the websites you visit and warn your kids on how to stay safe online. To learn more, visit my website.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Kimmy Everman, and as I said in our teaser, we're going to be talking about that boring old Alzheimer's that we keep talking about all the time because we want you to know everything you can about it. It's that important. But today we also have such a fun event to talk about, and such an important event, not just in Montana, but for the entire United States. And we want to show Montana has the spirit to really get in there and fight Alzheimer's. I have with us a couple of great guests today. First of all, Susan Gobbs. And Susan, you are a board member of the Montana chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. I always get it wrong.
Yes.
Okay, so and then we also have Ben Wall. And Ben, you're with Edward Jones, and we're going to talk about your connection with this in a minute, but we're so glad to have you here. You're a financial advisor there. Susan, let's hop back to you. Let's get the hard stuff out of the way fast, because I think it is hard to hear, and yet, boy, do we need to know. We need the information early.
Well, and anybody who has a brain is in danger of perhaps developing Alzheimer's. Right. And so it's not something where you know if you're going to get it or you know that you're not going to get it. And we welcome the opportunity to discuss this and get this information out to your viewers, because it's so very important to know how to identify and what the risks are and what you can do to perhaps avoid it, and the impact on our state.
Right.
And it is huge. We have 20,000 people in Montana currently living with Alzheimer's. That goes up by about 2,000 people a year. We have 50,000 family members who are caring unpaid for their loved ones.
Right.
And the average caregiver works 9 hours a day to provide care. Most of these people have jobs.
Right.
They have their own immediate families, kids to take care of.
Right.
And our resources are pretty slim in Montana. We're the 4th fastest aging population in the United States.
Wow.
Particularly in eastern Montana. So we don't have a lot of depth out there, and we have a lot of people who are taking care of their loved ones, and we applaud that so much because it is really a special relationship that they have, and they work very, very hard to keep their folks in their homes.
But
and
let's
keep them
do
there.
one thing. When you mention that, what comes to mind is all of the folks that don't reach out because they think they shouldn't have to, or whatever the reason. First of all, let's put up the 1-800 number. It's 24/7, and you can get your assistance and get started reaching out, calling that.
Exactly,
right?
and that is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by trained professionals. And they provide a lot of different services, everything from it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't get mom to go to sleep, and walking you through that. They can give you local resources and tell you where you can reach out for help. And I think the thing about Montana is we're very independent, and we don't like to ask for help.
Exactly.
But this is the kind of thing that it will make it so much easier. Because one of the things we know is that about 35% of the caregivers will die before the person with Alzheimer's because they aren't getting the help, they aren't getting the support. And so we have to remove the stigma of having Alzheimer's. We wouldn't hide it if our parents had diabetes.
Right.
And we shouldn't hide it if our parents have Alzheimer's.
And just what are a few of the things that maybe that caregiver might need in terms of assistance that are available?
Respite care.
Exactly.
I think respite care is a really big thing.
I was hoping you'd say that.
that would be something that they can get more information, like trying to get mom to go to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, this is unknown territory for the family. People are scared. People get angry when they're scared. And it's a very difficult relationship sometimes between spouses, and particularly with kids taking care of parents.
And a spouse may become combative, aggressive in ways they never have before.
Exactly.
As you said, they're surprised. I think so we're helping, or the Alzheimer's Association is helping with, first of all, information that so you don't go off the wrong path and think something that might be easy to. I've been so lucky to be around so many of you with the Alzheimer's Association, and I've heard of some terrible things that were so easily fixed.
Well,
because someone gave it some thought.
Right, and again, we're talking about unknown territory. And so if we can give communication tips, if we can give tips on how to figure out what the best care situation is. When is it time for mom to not live at home anymore?
Exactly.
And I keep talking about parents. Alzheimer's affects young individuals as well. There are 200,000 people in the United States living with early onset Alzheimer's under age 65.
So talking about this today is important. We have a minute left. Tell us why purple. I have purple on today, so do you, so does Ben.
Purple is the Alzheimer's color. It is chosen to identify and signify that we are fighting for people's brains.
Great. And I think it's wonderful. We always joke we only have a couple of things that are purple, but we all try to pull them out and wear them because of how important it is to stand up for. You don't know when this is going to happen. You don't know when you might need that support for yourself or a loved one or a friend. So very glad you're both here. Folks, when we come back, we're going to be talking about one of the greatest events of the year. That is the Walk to End Alzheimer's. You've probably seen the commercials on television. Well, we're here to give you the scoop in real life. You're going to enjoy it, so don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
I
think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
Questions about Medicare and other types of insurance? Contact the State Health Insurance Assistance Program office to get answers to questions like, what is the difference between Medicare and Medicaid, and how do you decide if you need Medicare supplemental insurance? This insurance counseling program is not a sales program. It is available to provide answers to your insurance questions. For more information, call the State Health Insurance Assistance Program office at 1-800-332-2272.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
This is Bill. He just received his new Medicare card and is following some simple rules to protect himself from fraud. He knows to never give out his Medicare, Social Security, or bank number over the phone. And this is Nancy. She knows that to detect any problems, she always reads her Medicare summary notice or Medicare Advantage EOB to make sure the billing is correct. Both Bill and Nancy know that anything suspicious can be reported to Montana SMP at 1-800-551-3191.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're talking about Alzheimer's today, and this is when it starts to get fun. We're going to welcome Ben Wall into the conversation. Hi Ben, so good to have you here. We're going to talk about the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Huge walk. And I understand Helena's the first walk for Montana this year?
Yes, so
exciting. So tell us all about this, and not to mention the fact, or to mention the fact, that you come not from the board, but you're with Edward Jones, who is a huge partner in this walk, and we really want to hear about your partnership and how it all's going.
Okay, so 5 years ago, Edward Jones partnered with the Alzheimer's Association as the national presenting partner for walks. And we have more than 600 walks across the country every fall. Locally in Montana, we have 6 throughout our communities, and Helena is the first one starting Labor Day weekend.
So we still have time, because it's August, we still have time to sign up for that. Now we'll go into it, but I'm just going to keep saying it to bug people. We still have time.
Yes, a lot of time to sign up and to get out in your community and show your support for those living with Alzheimer's, but also the ripple effect with those that are caring for loved ones that may have Alzheimer's.
And in terms of your partnership, you mentioned that you have a board of directors or a committee of some sort that is the partner working to make sure that these are all inclusive and they go off well. Is that how it goes?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a board of directors, we have a committee team. We meet starting in January, planning the walk for September. Yeah. We meet once a month, and we get different businesses involved. They're free walks for the communities, and donations are gladly accepted to help with the support and the research and the care for Alzheimer's.
And I know that for one thing, people can find, we don't have to name every one of them again. We can get them on the website, which we'll put up on the screen, so people can know where to go online, because they still can sign up. Remember, we said we're the first walk here in Helena next week, so you still have plenty of time to sign up. So Ben, they still have time to sign up. What's that like? I found it easy, but you talk a little bit about it. The process isn't so hard.
Sign up is very easy. There's 2 simple ways to sign up. alz.org/walk. You can sign up from the comfort of your couch, or even you can sign up the morning of the walk. Okay. The walk in Helena is Saturday, September 7th. It starts at 9 a.m. Registration is open at 8 a.m. If you'd like to register a team on walk day itself.
And I gotta say, I've also seen lots of advertisement over the last few months for this, which is really good to see. Really helps people know that it's going to go on and that it's out there. I know that we have a lot of folks that will come out to support this. Susan, family members. Right?
Right. And the thing that we really want to emphasize is that it does not cost anything to register a team and to walk. Mm-hmm. Yes, we like donations. It helps to pay for medical research and other things that are helpful to these families. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have the money, don't worry about it. We want to see you out there supporting.
Mm-hmm. Well, and being supported.
Yes.
Because, I can imagine people that might reach out to an event like that and find out, there is a whole group of people supporting me.
And these walks are always handicap accessible. Mm-hmm. They are not hard walks. Mm-hmm. The whole idea is to get people together to support and be supported.
And just inclusion.
Yep.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about the flower colors, because that always makes me really happy.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ben,
help me out with the colors.
Okay,
I know some of the colors.
I know for sure the white ones are for the first person that
survives.
survives.
So
yes,
we have.
We're still working for our first white flower to hand out.
I see those being thrown up in the air. But okay, so let's say this: there are many different colored flowers that folks choose based on their situation and
their connection with Alzheimer's.
For example, blue is for individuals who have Alzheimer's.
Okay, gotcha.
So we have that flower color. We have flower colors for family members, for people who are just general supporters.
Right. And we're talking about, these are just, they're just fabric things that people carry when they're marching or doing the walk, showing their support and showing how they fit into the big puzzle. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. A very, very good idea, and nice to see those white flowers being thrown up in the air on the advertising, because it does feel hopeful.
Right, and there's a tremendous amount of money going into research, not just in the United States, but all over the world. Mm-hmm. And we are optimistic that we will get to a breakthrough and that we will find a way to cure this fatal disease.
So we know there's no way to cure it. We know there's no way to even slow it down, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't live well in terms of healthiness, correct? Sure. Cognitive health, physical health, all those things are important to just keeping you on track.
Right, and they have found through research that the more active you are, obviously there are lots of different risk factors and we haven't got them all identified, but staying mentally active, physically active, taking care of what diseases you may have other than Alzheimer's, anything you can do to keep yourself as healthy as you can and as active as you can will, I think, help. Even if you eventually are diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Right.
But the more you can do to make yourself as healthy as you can, the better off you are.
That's right. Thank you so much. We have a whole other segment to talk about this, because you know what, folks? There's hope. There might be no cure today, but we don't know about tomorrow, and we want you to have all the information. So stay tuned.
I was diagnosed with diabetes in 1992, and I went into denial. It made me angry. I was a professional chef, and I didn't want to change my eating style. It took me a long time to get serious about managing my health. My perspective changed from resentment to one of loving my body, the container for my spirit. Getting help from my diabetes educator supported my goals of improved self-care. I want to feel good and have a great life. My diabetes educator helps me do this.
Good care is your right. In Montana, there's over 11,000 beds in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. If you or a family member needs assistance or help in obtaining information about care issues and placement options, call 1-800-332-2272. If you You or a family member need information about Montana's long-term care resident rights, or if you need help solving a problem or a complaint about a nursing home or an assisted living facility, call us at 800-332-2272.
If you give or receive care, you already know that it can cause stress on caregiver and receiver alike. The good news is, if you have limited resources, help is available. The Montana Lifespan Respite Program may be able to help you pay for care while you take a break. Even better news is how easy it is to apply. You can get an application online or have one sent to you. We'll get back to you within 5 working days. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
If the Aging Network in Montana was a restaurant, the sign out front would say, over 50 million meals served over the last 30 years. Since adequate nutrition is critical to health and quality of life, nutrition services are an important factor in keeping older Montanans healthy, independent, and living in their community and home. To find out more about senior nutrition programs in your area, call 1-800-551-3191.
Welcome back, everyone, to Aging Horizons. We're here talking about Alzheimer's, and we're going to talk with Susan Gobbs. First of all, Susan, as we said, you were a board member with the Montana Association of Alzheimer's, or Alzheimer's Association. You have a unique understanding of the kinds of resources people need, that sort of thing. Doesn't the Alzheimer's Association have a nice general kind of website that you can find things at?
alz.org is the website, and it has a tremendous amount of resources, including training videos, all sorts of general resources for families, for professionals, for people who have the disease themselves. And so it's a very robust website, and I would encourage your viewers to go to the website, which is again alz.org.
And also, again, I can't put the phone number up enough because it is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week line. And it is staffed by trained people, which actually brings me to one thing that we talked about off camera, Susan, is there's a huge training component to this, you especially as a board member. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. The Montana chapter has educators, community educators throughout the state. And our job is to go out and do presentations on various aspects of dealing with Alzheimer's, everything from the 10 warning signs to communication to legal and financial planning, having that difficult conversation about when to take the car keys away, which in Montana we know is a particularly touchy subject. And so throughout the major cities you've got educators. Part of my day job, I go out once a month and do legal clinics, and I train in those communities as well for the Alzheimer's Association. And train's probably not the right word, but I educate. And we have people like me across the whole state who would love to come to your church, to your senior center, to any organization that would like to know a little bit more about Alzheimer's. We would love to come and spread information throughout the state.
So how would we get a hold of you to do something like that?
You would call either my local number.
Okay, and we can put that up on the screen.
Put that up on the screen.
You don't have to worry about
that. Call the Billings number.
Okay, we'll put that up on the screen.
We have a staff member, Whitney. Whitney is in charge of the volunteers who do the education. We have people whose jobs are to arrange the trainings and then the presentations, and then we have the presenters.
So we'll put those up on the screen so everybody can get that. Or you know what? They can always call the local area agency on aging, because we talked about that too. What about that?
Right, and I think that those are very helpful. The area agencies can help with a variety of things that might be helpful to the family. In other words, getting people on Medicare, getting people on Medicaid, talking about, again, the respite services, talking about all sorts of ancillary services that might be available to this individual and to their family. And I keep talking about family, but a lot of seniors don't have family.
Yeah.
So we have to be cognizant that there are people out there that don't have a big support network. And these area offices on aging, or these agencies on aging, really do have a unique and wonderful role in dealing with the senior population.
Now all you have to do is, we're going to put the 1-800 number up, call it, and it will ring into your local agency that serves your area. Thanks, Susan, so much. Now, Ben, we can't go without talking more about how to sign up for this walk, because I want people to really be thinking about this. What's the first thing we should do?
First thing to do, check out the walk website, alz.org/walk.
Okay.
You can register a team with your friends, your families, and get a good group of support together.
Okay. And probably ask around your office or wherever you work, because there might be a team, right, Susan?
Yes.
That's already forming that you might want to join.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And we have 6 different walks throughout the state in local communities.
So it isn't just in Helena, it's all over the place, and you can find if one is in an area either you live or you can get to easily.
Nearby, correct.
What does it cost?
It's free. Free.
Nice. And it's actually not, but it's a good cost, because you're coming to support yourself, your spouse, your brother, your grandmother. It doesn't matter why you're there. You're there as a support.
Correct.
And to learn. Would you say that, Susan?
I would say that.
It's a big education. Now, you also said that there's some kind of fun stuff that happens there, too. You can get your blood pressure checked.
Well,
I don't know if that's fun. But
at the Helena Walk, we are very heavily supported by the Carroll College community.
Okay.
And our walk takes place at Carroll College. So amongst other things, we have free blood pressure checks by the Carroll College nursing students.
Nurses, of course. Yeah.
And last year we had the Lewis and Clark Library there, and they were giving away books on dementia. And we have a lot of wonderful partners. We always have bagpipers. And so it's a fun thing to do on a Saturday in September when hopefully it's not 20 below.
Yeah. Or snowing. Or raining.
But we'll be out there if it
is. Yeah.
So it's a very easy walk, and it's a very fun event.
Yeah. And I think, I'd like to assure our audience that, it's women of other ages, not just young, correct? And men that come. It isn't just...
Again, we see a lot of seniors, and we see people in wheelchairs and with walkers. And every community has partnerships that are unique to their community. So we can talk about Helena, but Billings has unique.
Sure, so find out, right?
Find out who your community partners are, find out where your walk is. Every walk's a little different, and they're all fun, and maybe you want to go to all 6. We don't do more than one a day.
We'll do it. Well, thank you both for being here. It's been a great show. I've learned a bunch. I hope you all have too. And get to the website and sign up. You still have time. For Aging Horizons, I'm Kimmy Everman. Thanks for being with us.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.